Bokros. I'm with the Office of Academic and Advising Services, and are you actually filming me?
Oh, yeah.
Are you taping me? Oh, no. Now I have to behave. That's going to really throw me. I'll try and ignore you. Anyway, I am Dr. Bokros. I'm your pre-health advisor, and I'm in the Office of Academic and Advising Services. Our office is on the back side of Penfield. You've probably been to Penfield Large Hall. We're on the annex, the little wart on the other side of the building. Yes. I am talking to you about pre-health professions tracks today, and there are 12 or 13 tracks at this moment, so I have no delusion that I will be filling you in on all tracks and all details, right? We're going to talk about some generalities to get you started, right? But one of the first questions I often get from new families or from people who are just visiting Mercer is, what's the pre-med major like? And there is no pre-med major, right? Pre-med or other pre-health tracks are just tracks. They're just preparation for professional school after your time here as an undergraduate. So you came to Mercer University and you expressed interest in one of our majors, like biology or women and gender studies or Latin, right? And so you would be enrolled in one of our 12 colleges and schools so that you could pursue that area of study, right? So there's 6 now. 6 colleges on this campus we consider the traditional undergraduate colleges within the university, and that's CLA, College of Liberal Arts, Engineering, Business, Townsend School of Music. What am I missing? College of Health Professions now has a bachelor's degree in public health, and so they're on this campus. And so I have students in education, but I have very few education pre-health students for one reason or another. So your job as pre-health students at Mercer is to start working toward a degree, right? And concurrently, you'll be taking the prerequisites to get into your favorite professional school. And so you're not just taking classes, though, which is one reason why I want to talk to you early in your career here, because your mission as a pre-health student is to become competitive as an applicant, right? So you're building a strong application portfolio, and these days, after an extensive study by the Association of American Medical Colleges, they have defined pre-professional core competencies, and so they're useful for all tracks, not just pre-medical students. Yes, you're completing a degree in most cases. There are some exceptions to that, but you're also building pre-professional competencies. So I'm going to briefly flash the list of competencies on the screen, but please don't try and write them all down. I have them in hard copy up here because they're kind of too small to read, right? My point by showing you this is to show you that medical schools and all health professions programs really care about interpersonal skills. That's like a quarter or more than a quarter of your competencies up there. And intrapersonal skills, meaning how well you know yourself, how well you can control yourself, right? Those things are really important. So taking the right classes without devoting any energy to building these other competencies doesn't get you very far, right? Of course, understanding scientific thought and the basic sciences, they're on the list. Of course you have to be competent in that area, but it's not just that, right? So today's presentation, after scaring you with a whole long list of competencies, right? I don't mean to scare you, I just want you to know you need to work on these things. You don't just take classes and get there. I want to answer burning questions, ones that I get a lot of, and so I just want to take care of that. And then I want to give you some advice to get you started, and then this whole conversation, me and you, will continue over the next probably 4 or more years, in some cases more years. So my first burning question is, how did I get this schedule, right? Well, there's a small army of us advisors that get together in a big computer lab and take everything that you've told us on your online profile, what major you might be interested in, what college you're enrolled in, what track you're on, and we try and put you in appropriate coursework. Now, most of the tracks, I would want to put you into Chemistry 111 or General Chemistry 1 to get you started, because doing so will give you the most options for major and track later on. It leaves all the doors open, right? before I go off this slide, I want to remind you that you will be taking a UNB 101 class this coming fall, and we're going to teach you how to register yourself. We're not going to do it for you all the time, I promise. That's kind of hyper-controlling, I know that, but we don't want to waste your time or money by making bad choices, so we do the first registration event for you and then let you take over. So, back to that chemistry idea. In order to get you into chemistry, you had to have a math index of 980 or higher, or you had to take the math placement exam here and score 15 or higher, right? If neither one of those are true for you and you are not in Chemistry 111, it's not the end of the world. You can still graduate in 4 years. It just gives you fewer options for major later on, right? What you can do to work around this, the first one is transfer Math 133 or pre-calculus credit from another institution. So if you had it dual enrollment, we just don't have that credit yet, that would take care of that issue. Or if you had pre-calculus in high school, you just didn't score well on the ACT or the SAT, so your math index wasn't high enough, there's no reason why you can't take that CLEP exam for pre-calculus. CLEP is CLEP, College Level Examination Program. They sell a study guide for less than $30 last time I checked, and you can take the exam. I think it's 85 or 90, and if you pass 50% or higher, they'll give you credit, college credit, for Math 133. And then you just send that transcript to the registrar, it goes in there, and we pop you into chemistry. But that's only if you're comfortable with pre-calculus, right? If you've been exposed to it. I doubt you could teach yourself. Well, you could, I suppose, teach yourself this summer. It's just that most people don't want to do that. No, statistics credit from AP coursework, an AP exam, does not substitute, it's a different skill set. But if you have AP calculus credit coming in this July probably, then we can go ahead and pop you into chemistry, right? But we need to have some kind of evidence of mathematical competency up through pre-calculus. And that is not because chemistry is a secret club, right? It's because in the past they did not have pre-calculus as a prerequisite, and the failure rate was pretty high for people who were not competent in math. And we're not in the business of failing you. We don't want to ruin your transcript that way. There are no weed out courses here. We're too expensive for that. So we want to set you up for success, right? I don't know, that's for the big schools, right? Those weed out classes, please. All right, so if none of the above works, or you're just not comfortable with math, I've met so many students whose high school didn't have a math teacher, or didn't have a math teacher past a certain level, and then you're stuck, right? So go ahead and take pre-calculus. We'll work it out later. It's just that I want to give you as many opportunities early as we can, if that's appropriate for you. Now I mentioned AP credit, so I'm going to stop a minute. How many pre-meds in here? A lot, no doubt, right? I want to tell you that there are more medical schools every year who do not see AP credit as true college lab experience. So I'm warning you now, right? If you have AP credit for physics, biology, or chemistry, we may need to talk about whether you accept that credit or decline the credit. You don't actually decline the credit, you're just not getting Chem 111 credit, you're getting Chem 100 credit. You still have the hours, you just don't fulfill the first year. But I think this is especially true for biology. It's really unusual for a student to come in, get the credit for Bio 211, and then do well in 212, which is Bio 1 and 2, just because we cover things that many high school biology classes don't cover. Even though you might have the knowledge to pass the AP exam, you may not have been given the opportunity to design experiments and analyze data and read scientific literature like we do in Bio 211. I'm getting off topic. At any rate, so I want you to know about this now so that you can check out your favorite medical schools to see what their policies are on AP. And guess what? Mercer University School of Medicine is one of the schools that don't like AP credit as general lab science, right? So, this doesn't apply to dental schools or pharmacy schools or vet schools yet. I haven't heard of that at all, but I just want you to know about this. Okay, burning question number 2 is what math should I take? Well, you need to consider two things, at least two things, right? You have to have at least one math credit for your Mercer University degree. That's like general education. You have to have mathematical reasoning fulfilled. Then the next layer is, what does your major in college require? If you're engineering, of course you're going to go 3, 4 different math classes. You're going to go much further than one math class. But if you're a psychology major or a biology major, one math class is enough. But they're particular about which math they want. Biology, you could do either calculus or statistics, right? Chemistry, you're going to need 2 semesters of calculus anyway. Who else is interested in one of the majors already? Neuroscience needs calculus. Any other majors that I might remember? Biology, 1 math, so stats or calculus. So the next question is, where do you plan to apply to professional school? Because the vast majority of medical schools don't have a specific math requirement. If there's a math requirement for admission, it's 1 year of college math, and then you would take calculus and statistics or something like that. But most medical schools don't have a specific math requirement. Dental schools probably want statistics, a few want calculus. Pharmacy school, you have to have both, calculus and statistics, right? So it just depends on your track, and within your track, which schools in particular. So my advice is take the math required for your degree, first of all, then kind of poke around the first couple of years and find out what your medical schools or your professional schools would require, so you have time to take another class if you need to. All right? Ooh. All right, number 3. What should I major in so that I will look good to dental schools or medical schools, right? Well, you're not trying to look good to them, you're trying to build competencies, right? It's a different way of thinking. And I think medical schools, all professional schools, value students who know their own minds and follow their own interests, as well as show competency academically, right? So you have to consider what you're interested in now, then find out what your prerequisites are to get into professional school, and see if you can blend them, right? We want you to study what you want to study, but you also have to take some classes. So there are good overlaps between certain majors and pre-professional tracks, and I've given you a couple here. Pre-pharmacy, pre-med, pre-PA, veterinary for sure, they all overlap really well with the biology, Bachelor of Science, with a minor in chemistry. There's still a couple classes you're going to have to fit in, like physics, but that's a good overlap if that's what your main concern is. But don't be afraid to try to branch out a little bit and follow your interests. And of course, you're not going to be able to read all the fine print here, but I do have this table, and if you've been to one of my little shows at Saturday Previews, you would have picked this up. It's success rates by major, right? But I want to make sure you're not misunderstanding that. I'm going to zoom up. If you compare, for the different majors, applicant statistics versus matriculant statistics, those who actually got accepted and matriculated, look at the GPAs, the cum GPAs, where's my little thingy? I guess I don't have a pointer today. The cum GPAs for different majors, you don't even, does it matter what major it is? Because those stats are all very similar, right? Cut it off to make a point, right? You're going to have to achieve to a certain level, so you might as well love what you're studying. So if you want that, I have that hard copy up here too. But take it with a grain of salt, right? It's not the major that's going to get you in. It's you and your efforts that's going to get you into your professional school. But think back to that list of competencies now. Wow, cultural competence and resilience and adaptability, et cetera, et cetera. Why not add as much humanities to your science program as you can? Now, some of you are not enrolled in the College of Liberal Arts. That's fine, but this whole atmosphere on this campus is very liberal artsy, right? So you should be able to soak that in and take advantage of guest lectures and guest movies and whatever. Take advantage of those things, because everything you learn, even if it's not about the tibia, right? It's not about being a doctor or whatever. is a point of connection, possibly, between you and somebody else, which is, that's huge for a healthcare professional. You want to be able to connect with as many different kinds of people as possible. So revel in the whole humanities thing. It's all connected, just some are more directly connected than others, right? So I love to put this bug in your ear. Yes, you can be a biology major, chemistry minor, but I mean, if that's what you're truly interested in, then go for it. But why not add the Spanish minor or the history minor, right? Try and combine those things. Or be a non-science major with chemistry and biology minors. I have had lots of success both ways. I've had success with just the biology-chemistry combination, but this is your chance. You're only an undergraduate at this age once, right? Yes, you can go back to college later, but you'll be 30. You'll be different. Your brain will be different, right? So why not, right? Thank goodness, right? All right, so I think this is my last burning question. What special consideration programs are there for me? Well, we have a host of health professions related special consideration programs, and these are partnerships between an undergraduate college or a school at Mercer and one of the professional schools. And so we have College of Liberal Arts partnered with College of Nursing, partnered with College of Health Professions for PT, PA, and athletic training. And so we've got these different partnerships, and anybody who wants to attempt to gain eligibility can do that, except for medicine, right? The eligibility requirements to be in these programs include, I'll come back to that in a minute, include that you have to be enrolled in the undergraduate partner college. You can't be a transfer student after high school graduation. If you have dual enrollment or AP credit, that's fine, but after high school graduation, you can't take transient courses at another institution. It's all Mercer. And you'd be here at least 3 years, and you'd do a specific set of courses and maintain minimum GPAs. Depending on the program, it's either 3.0 or 3.2, right? And that guarantees you an interview at whatever professional school that you're interested in. And as long as you have honed your interpersonal skills along the way, if your interview goes well, your chances of acceptance are very high. It's a very small number of people who did not get in, and they sabotage themselves, essentially. Right? So, but back up to that medicine, that's the only special consideration program that has high school seniors apply and interview through December and January. So that group is already chosen as of last year, and there may be some people in this room that went through that process. So you can't jump on that late. But this group is relatively small. I think there's 18 every year so far. And if you are just now hearing about it, don't let that spoil your day, because the vast majority of my pre-meds are not special consideration program. It's a nice opportunity, but your performance is what's going to get you in. You shouldn't fret about not getting in on that, right? So I do have a flyer up front. It's a summary table of all of the special consideration programs if you didn't get it at a Saturday preview. Now, are you ready for some advice? Okay, close your ears. Just kidding. I just figure if somebody says, I'm going to give you some advice, you automatically think, I'm not listening to you. Why should I listen to you? You'll listen to me though, right? I'm sorry. I forgot I had to behave. All right, my first piece of advice is to educate yourself. And this is really part one of take responsibility, right? Because Mercer's not going to get you into professional school. We can help, certainly, but you're going to be the one that's doing the work. Right? You're going to be studying, you're going to be learning, you're going to be developing your interpersonal skills. I would love to help if you let me, and I have a lot of resources available for you, as does other offices on campus. But it's going to be up to you to read them and take control of your own destiny by reading up on your track and what your choices are. The first thing I wanted to tell you about was we have what do we call them? Professional development seminars. Every week, we've got Wednesdays this year, because Friday afternoons we find that students kind of check out mentally. Can you believe that? So we're trying Wednesdays this semester, see if that's better for everybody. But there's 3 of us, me over on the left, but my fellow advisor, Courtney Honeycutt's on the top right. She's the new pre-grad school advisor. And so, it could be that along the way you think, doctor, but then you realize, oh my gosh, I love chemistry research. See, we've got an advisor for that, right? So we can just segue over there, and you won't miss a step. And then Stephanie Swanger is with the Center for Career and Professional Development, and her specialty is science and pre-health. So we're a team, and so we do this every Wednesday afternoon, and then each of us will do individual appointments as well. But to make an appointment with me, I want you to enroll in my Canvas course first. I have put all of your advising resources into a Canvas course, and it is not for credit. It is not graded. I've given assignments with suggested due dates, but that's only for you to keep yourself on track. This is all about you taking responsibility. So I have sent an email asking you to enroll, but I found that I have been spammed to a high degree this summer, and a lot of my emails have not gotten through. So I was going to tell you that there's a brief orientation video, and yeah, you're going to get this in an email again, but if you want to get a jump on it, take a picture of it, or you watch the video and then you self-enroll in the Canvas course, or go back to any of my emails, because my email signature underneath there, I've got new to the pre-health tracks at Mercer, watch this, and then enroll in the Canvas course here. So everything you need is right there. You just go back to one of my emails. Okay? And then my second part of taking responsibility is staying in touch. Read about your track and know who your resources are and what your resources are, but then also maintain that contact. You're going to have to check your Mercer email starting in August. Right now, we're emailing to your Gmail or your Yahoo, whatever you've got for personal use. But we're going to shift over and use only the Mercer account come August. So that'll be your responsibility to check that or get it forwarded to your Gmail, whatever, as long as your forward tool doesn't conk out on you, because I've had that happen before. They're wondering why they're not getting my emails, and it's because their forwarding had turned off. Anyway, I do have that Mercer Pre-Health Facebook fan page, for those of you still on Facebook, yay. And I've got a Mercer Pre-Health Google Calendar, really have trouble saying that. And the links for those things are also under my signature. So, I wonder what's going on Facebook. Well, yeah, of course you can search it, but the link is right there too, as is the calendar. So not only are our events on that Google Calendar, but also I have invited all of the science and pre-health related groups on campus, the student clubs, to post their events as well, so that they don't compete with each other and they can kind of combine and work together on big events. So that's kind of, my aim is to make shopping for you, for events, easier. Okay, reaching out. This is advice number 3, I think, right? I would say join at least one club. It makes sense to join a pre-health organization, but I don't care if you want to do Greek life or Baptist Collegiate Ministries or it's student government, Quadworks, whatever. Join at least one club, because that's an instant friend base, and do not underestimate the power of friendship in helping you transition from high school to college or to living away, right? So that's good, but then there are opportunities for building your competencies, right? Teamwork and leadership. Those opportunities usually come through these extracurricular activities. Can you join more than one? Of course you can join more than one, but don't go crazy in your first semester. You got to figure out exactly how much time it's going to take you to study to get those GPAs I just showed you, right? So maybe 1 or 2, and then add on as you find out what your capabilities are. Or, I shouldn't say it that way, because your capabilities are so much broader than you know, and so you just have to find how to manage it, right? So that's a skill that you have to work on too, is managing your time and brain cells. At least that's how I look at it. Too many activities, my brain starts to fry. And the last one is seek help when you need it. That is a sign of maturity, not weakness. If you start struggling, I don't know a student who has not struggled with something, right? Whether it's math or language or, I don't know. I mean, everybody has their own strong points and weak points. So you're going to struggle with something somehow, even if it's with a roommate who keeps stealing your milk. I and you're struggling with something, right? So be willing to talk to somebody or reach out and ask for help, whatever that is. You notice I stuck a little asterisk under your peers, because on occasion you will start getting rumors flying around that I don't even know how got started. If you ever hear a piece of advice from an upperclassman about who you should take or what classes you should or shouldn't take, double check it on Canvas or with me, just to make sure, because sometimes fear stokes really weird rumors. So you don't listen to that. Take it all with a grain of salt. Double check it, and then take action. Don't just run screaming because you heard you shouldn't take biology and chemistry at the same time. Of course you should. You're gonna go to med school. How can you not take biology and chemistry at the same time? That's ridiculous. Okay, that's enough talking for me. I want to know what your questions are that I haven't answered. Come on, I know you have some. We'll sit here for a minute. Yes, thank you. Mm-hmm. The question is, how do I get involved in one of the accelerated special consideration programs? This one's for PA, but there's also one for AT and physical therapy. Students will be enrolled in the appropriate college, first of all, and if your GPAs are at the minimum and you've made the appropriate progress so that you wouldn't be stuck taking summer classes by the end of year one. So yeah, because if you end up with a 1.8 GPA at the end of the year, it's just mean if I let you declare your status, right? Because you would be trying so hard to catch up. It's just silly. So yes, at the end of the first year, and what's great about those programs is that you can declare and work toward it, and if you find that it's not working for you, it's too restrictive, maybe you want to change your major to something else, then get out, it's fine. There's really a smaller percentage of students take advantage of that than I ever expected them to. I thought everybody would want to do that, but no, you guys are too smart for me. I mean, there are reasons why you might want to stay fourth year too, instead of getting out of here in 3. I mean, what if you join a Greek organization and you just love it so much, or you're elected president of the SGA and you want to stay? You can do that. So, other questions? Okay, well, thank you all for coming. It's lovely to see you, and I look forward to helping you all reach your goals. Oh, I didn't tell you. You will see it on the Canvas course. You may not meet with me individually until you've completed Module 1 on Canvas. It's part of me being overbearing and making you take responsibility. Thank you.